It's the Daily Dog.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Doug. It is a current events edition coming at you today. Why? Because the news demands it today, because the news is just overflowing with just bad stuff today. And, you know, when I started the Daily Doug series, part of it was just for me to mark the tape. And just to provide some commentary on, hey, what was it like to be alive on October 6th, 2020? Well, this is how it feels, right? It's Tuesday. It's 4 weeks from the election. And the illustrious leader, Trump, has this afternoon tweeted that he is calling for an end to negotiations on COVID relief package, a stimulus package that Congress is currently negotiating. One, it's way overdue. I mean, they sent us like $1,200 as a stimulus package back like in March or April for people because they shut the economy down, and rightfully so because of the pandemic. But since then, that money has run its course, and the employment benefits that they passed that was a little bit more of a help, that came and went, and rent is due, and it has been due, and the economy is just in the tank. And especially for people like me who are in education or in music or in performance, it's a dire time, y'all. And this asshole, I'm looking at his tweet now, or his series of tweets. It says, I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election, when immediately after I win, we will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses. I mean, since when does Donald Trump have dictatorial control over the legislative process? And how sad is it that the GOP people in the Senate are and in Congress are actually even paying attention to this asshole? Like, that's their job. That's their power. It confounds me. And since, I mean, this guy is in the middle of a re-election campaign, how, in any circumstance, is it a good electoral or campaign strategy to basically extort the American people? You know, it's like, you know, vote for me if you want your tax dollars to actually work for you. You know, it's like, I'd like you to do me a favor, though. You know, the exact same thing that he got impeached for. You know, asking a foreign power, a foreign country, to intervene on his behalf, and not on behalf of Americans, but to directly benefit him. Now he's basically extorting the American people. The definition of extortion, I'm looking at it right here: the practice of obtaining something through force or threats. That's the only way he's ever been able to get anything done. You know, he's threatening the American people. You want some stimulus? You want your tax dollars to work for you? You have to vote for me first. I mean, does he actually think that that's going to convince somebody like me to vote for him? It's like, oh, well, you know. Well, in that case, I think I'll vote for you then. As if the last 4 years haven't been traumatic enough. You know, vote for me, so that I won't have to pay back millions of dollars of loans that I've personally guaranteed, or so that I won't go to prison as soon as I leave office, right? I don't know who the people are that still vote for this guy, or that still support this party. It's really sad. They've completely jumped the shark. In this same tweet thread, he is saying to Mitch McConnell to instead focus full-time on approving my outstanding nominee to the United States Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett. They do not have the ability to govern anymore. Their ideas are completely corrupt, and they know that they've lost the majority of America, and the only way that they're trying to hang on anymore to what's left of their authority in America is by electing and pushing through these judges that will, at least in their mind, maintain their way of life. And their way of life is discrimination and inequality and injustice for the sake of their own people. And they consider their own people white and overwhelmingly male. And they didn't even put out a platform this year. In the re-election campaign, the GOP didn't even put out a platform. Like, here's what we stand for. They don't stand for shit. All they stand for is opposing whatever the Democrats want. I mean, that's what's happened over the propaganda works, y'all. Over the last 20 years, 30 years, people have been conditioned to channel their patriotism not towards a cause or an economic idea or even a social idea. The cause is doing exactly the opposite of what the Democrats want, because we hate Democrats. That is the platform, right? And that's dangerous. That's inherently dangerous, because it just means that they don't stand for anything. We are not having a debate on the issues, on, what level of tax rate should go to what, level of income, and what level of social service should go to people that need it, or, higher ed, or anything else. We're not having those discussions. It's just, the Democrats want this. We don't like Democrats, so we're going to do the other thing. And then, yay us. They don't stand for a damn thing. I mean, this is why, we don't have any action on climate change, Green New Deal, gun control legislation, I don't know, name it, universal health care, better, packages for higher ed, unemployment insurance, minimum wage increases. I mean, women are still getting paid less on the dollar than men for doing the same work. Over and over and over and over again, like we're seeing the wheels of the 19th and early to mid 20th century economy. The wheels of that economy are just falling off. And it's up to Congress, our representatives, to come up with ways to help us continue to reinvent ourselves. And they're sitting on their hands, because the way that we want to reinvent ourselves is null and void because it comes from a Democrat. And I'm just fucking tired of it, quite honestly. I cannot wait until we elect this guy out of office. I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be a great team for us, and for America, for the world. We're just traumatized by these last 4 years, and the end can't come soon enough. And on top of everything else, today, Eddy Van Halen died. And I'm really bummed about that. I was getting ready to record this video after 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, Trump tweeted this nonsense. And then likewise, the stock market went right down there, off a tank or off the cliff. And then I'm getting ready to do this video, and I pull up Twitter so I can see the president's actual tweet. And here's the news that Eddy Van Halen, guitar hero and songwriter, died today after battling cancer. He was 65. One of the best guitar players of all time. So, rest in peace, Eddy Van Halen. And Donald Trump and the GOP, you guys can just go fuck right off. This has been today's Daily Doug.